So explosives in Arma Reforger are a lot more fun to use than at first it might look like. In order to get explosives, you go to the ammo bunker on the left side. And if you're on the American side, you have to use the M112 demolition block. I already picked up a few of them. Now if you're on the Soviet side, you have to find the 400 gram TNT demolition block. And you also have to grab a detonator. And detonators are found not in this box, but on the other box here. Okay, so you open it. On the Soviet side, it's this KPM3U1 detonator. I already got this one over here. Okay, so now there's 4 different ways to use explosives. Also, I just want to say at the beginning of the video that you cannot stick the explosives to yourself, to akbar yourself. Okay. However, there's some other weird thing you can do. I'll show you at the end of the video. Okay, so the most basic use of explosives is to just use a time fuse. Okay, so you put it in your hotkey. Now this is a great way to use if, let's say, in conflict mode you sneak behind enemy lines, you get near an enemy base, and you just want to place an explosive and get away before the enemy knows what's happening. Okay, for that, for example, let's say you sneak in the base over here, and you want to destroy a vehicle. So you walk up to it. Use a hotkey. Now you can stick it to any surface you want, on the ground, or on a vehicle, or on a building, or anything. Left click. There are several options. Pick up means you put it back in inventory. Equip means you pick it back up in your hand. With a time delay fuse, will detonate it in 20 seconds. And adjust, you can change the time fuse. I'm going to arm with the time delay fuse. It should take about 20 seconds for the detonate. The second use is to use it as an ambush position, like for example on the road or something. Okay. So let's say for example there's a choke point at the road where you think the enemy might be coming through. So you take another brick of that stuff and you take a detonator in another hotkey slot like this. Okay, so you take it. Now there's several things to consider. If you put it in the middle of the road, it's not a good idea because most players who experience with this game, when they're driving down the road, they look out for weird objects on the road, like mines or explosives. So what you should do is put it somewhere in the grass next to the road. Okay, now you take the detonator, the other hand, and you look at the object. Now you go to arm and connect to the detonator. But you can see on the detonator, it has wires appeared on top of it. That means it's connected to something. Okay, now if I press R, not hold, but just tap it, like it says in the bottom left of the screen. It will detonate. Let's get to a safe distance. What you also can do is, instead of detonating like that, you can hold R. Now I repeat, hold. Don't tap. Hold. Then it shows you all the options for the device. You can disconnect or detonate. I just want to detonate it, so take some safe distance, and I'm going to press R. Okay, the really cool thing is both detonators for each faction, they actually have their own animations for them, and they're completely different devices. Okay, now one thing to consider when you're using it in an ambush position here is that the range at which you can use it is quite limited. Let's put it here again. Let's place another one. Let's wire it. I think that the detonator range is about, I think 50, 60 or something meters, or is it 100? I'm not sure. Which makes it a bit difficult to use if you're trying to use it in an ambush position. Okay, let's say I'm over here. Let's try to use it here. Okay, now the third use, this is where it gets really interesting, is use the explosives on a more strategic layer. So it's not like an immediate tactical ambush thing, it's more like a strategic thing. Okay, let me show you. Let's assume this compound is your base. And let's assume you think that enemies, when they're going to attack, they're going to come from this direction. So what you can do when you prepare yourself, take the explosives pack, put it anywhere you want. Like for example, one up here. Going to wire it. So I'm not sure how many you can wire. I tried it with up to 5 and it worked. Take the next one. You have to drag it into the hotkey each time. Or you could use multiple hotkeys. Another one. And arm it. Now let's say you want to prepare it and use it when the enemy gets really close to your base. Let's say they get up to this fence line. And then you want to detonate when they get to this wall. Now there are several concerns you might have as a player. First off, will you have the patience as an explosive player to stick around the area, to defend the area and press the button in the right moment? I think that's what most other games that have similar devices don't really have, because most players don't have the patience to stick around. And the second question is, what happens when your character dies with a detonator? And here it gets really interesting. So you can take that same detonator, put it in your hand. Notice it already has the wires on top of it. Now you as a player can just detonate it and it will detonate the things. Which means if a player with detonator dies, a friendly can pick it up and detonate for him. So that solves the question on what happens when your character dies with a detonator in hand. Now the other thing you can do, what if you don't have the patience to stick around? Then you can do the following thing. So you put the thing up here. What you have to do is you have to put the detonator on the ground. And now take the deploy detonator action. Now it's a static object that is highly visible to other players, and it's on the ground like that. Another player can just walk up to it. And, but it's a really cool feature because now you can prepare it, wire it up, put it here, and then do something else as an explosives expert. And you can tell everybody in a base camp or voice chat that in case the base gets overrun or the enemy gets through that wall, you show them where the detonator is. So any players in the area can just walk up to it and detonate it in the right moment. Okay, I said at the beginning of the video that you cannot akbar yourself, but you can do something else that's interesting. Okay, here's what you can do. You take a car, you decorate it with as many explosives as you want. This detonator, connect it, and connect this one. Take the car. You can just drive it everywhere you want. And let's say you want to akbar the car with yourself in it. Okay, then you can just, while you're driving, take out the detonator and so I hope this was useful, especially for new players. And let me know in the comments what type of guide you'd like to see next. And as always, thanks for watching.